If you want to get rich teaching in your martial arts, dance, or any other skill-based academy, I'm going to show you in this video what I did in order to generate over $1 million a year for the last 14 years and counting, and what you can do in your own local business. Hey everybody, my name is Jennifer Waters and I'm one of the founders of 7-Figure Dojo. We actually help school and academy owners turn their dreams into reality. Now, I first learned how to do the processes that I'm going to be talking to you about in this video when I was 18 years old and our martial arts school was struggling to survive. We were thinking about shutting the doors forever, my dad, my mom, and myself, but instead we invested into mentorship and marketing systems and started formulating what we now call the 7FD method, which is a system of marketing and business processes that allowed us to go from a few $1,000s a month to over $1 million a year in about 4.5, maybe 5 years. And ever since then, we've been hitting $1 million plus years in our brick and mortar school. And I want to show you today what you can do to get rich from living out your dreams, from pursuing your passion. So let's dive into it. All right, so step number one, you've got to focus on leads. You've got to make sure that everything that you do is about generating leads and getting new students in the door. Don't worry so much about the things that you don't have control over, like whether or not a student is moving away or going out of town or something like that. Students are gonna quit and you're gonna need to enroll more people than are quitting. And so in order for you to do that, you've got to make sure that you're in the community. You've got to make sure you have online advertising running, and you've also got to make sure you have the mindset to always be generating leads, always be enrolling new students. Once you get those leads in the door, the next thing that you want to do is you want to start really focusing in on your conversational selling ability. This is your ability to have a conversation with someone else so that they see an extraordinary amount of value, and by the time you offer the price, they're like, oh my gosh, I thought you were going to charge me 5 times that price. It's only this much. If you're able to do that on a regular basis, that person seeing that value, that person receiving that value from what you sold them is going to translate into the next thing, which is creating raving fans. If you are selling something but you can't fulfill on that thing, you can't actually produce the result that you sold, then you're not going to create raving fans. You're just going to create people that are somewhat satisfied about what you do but don't really enjoy it. And so that's why you're going to want to make sure that you are really creating raving fans, people that are leaving you reviews, people that are making testimonial videos. All of those things are super important, and they're important for marketing too, because if you have those raving fans, they're going to refer other people. And if you have those testimonials, the people that you generated leads from are going to go watch those testimonials, and they're going to make a decision based off of that alone. Now, the next thing that you also want to do is you want to start thinking about teaching with goals in mind. So if you're just getting people to come in your door and sign up for a membership, and that membership is 2 classes is this much a month, and 3 classes is that, and unlimited classes equals XYZ, you're doing it wrong. And the reason why I say that is because when you're offering a membership, it's really easy to cancel that membership when you're not using it. But instead, if you start selling from the standpoint of this is what you're going to achieve in this certain amount of time, and here's the prescribed amount of classes per week in order to get this result, it changes the conversation and flips the script completely. So you want to really think about being able to have people set and achieve goals on a regular basis, because when they're setting and when they're achieving those goals, they want to continue doing it. They get an emotional high when they've actually achieved that goal. So whatever you're setting up in your school or academy, make sure there are tangible goals attached to the programs that you sell them. And once they accomplish that goal, that there is another goal ahead of them. This would be creating another program for them to achieve their next result from. And then finally, if you really want to be able to get rich from building your own school and academy up to $1 million and beyond, you're going to need a team. You're going to need to invest time in building other people up. And when is the best time to start? Right now. Start identifying people in your school that, number one, align with your beliefs and your core values. If you haven't defined what you actually stand for, this is a really great point in time to do that. Like, what are some words that resonate with you? What are some attributes that you're like, man, I really want people to be like this. Think about yourself. What are some things about yourself that you really would want to make sure other people clone, other people repeat it? That's going to be your first step in determining who you should bring on your team and who would be a good fit. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to be able to create a vision that's so big that other team members' visions can fit underneath that. And I think this is where a lot of people get stuck when they start building teams. They go, oh, well, I just need an assistant instructor or an assistant coach. But how does that assistant instructor move up to a full-time instructor or coach? How do they move up to a higher level? Maybe they're doing sales, maybe they're doing marketing. What can they do to actually achieve ownership if that's something that you're wanting them to potentially be able to do? With these goals in mind, this is going to help you develop the perfect team to launch you and catapult you up to the next levels of success. You can only stay a one-man or a one-woman show for so long. After that, it's going to take a team to get you rich and ultimately to create the impact that you clearly desire. And then finally, guys, I know that the video that I talked about getting rich, it's perfectly okay for you and your family to be able to receive a decent amount of revenue and to generate and earn that revenue from your honest and hard work. I'm not talking about doing something unethical, but if you're able to build your wealth, if you're able to do that for yourself, then you can repeat that process for your team. And then they can then in turn repeat it for the people that they're bringing up underneath them. Ultimately, money is not evil. It is a tool. It's how you use that money. It's what you think about that money that is going to determine what ends up happening, whether you use it for good or whether you use it for evil. So don't let something like, oh, I can never make that much money. That would be unethical for me to do that. It's only unethical if you're using unethical business principles and concepts to take that money or to generate that money. But if you're doing honest, decent, hard work, if you are impacting and making a difference in the lives of the students that you teach, you do deserve to be compensated for that. And so guys, as you watch this video, please make sure that you do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on our next video.